Okay, so my wellness topic will be on the Renaissance. Basically, it's the influence that the humanist and the artist had on the late medieval period and how it gave birth basically to the Renaissance and how this just had a chain reaction on the human behavior of most societies across Europe and on individuals themselves. Um, Basically, the whole topic is to try to understand how this came to be and how art can influence such a big change, even though it's just a way for people to express themselves. It obviously goes deeper than that when for many centuries, ever since the birth of the Catholic Church, that's all that people were focusing about, and it wasn't about themselves anymore. All the art, everything that was created was very muted, and it was all about religion, which it was still in the Renaissance. It was still highly influenced by religion, but the artists started to look at themselves and the whole process, and they started to look back at things like beauty and enjoyment, love, and so on. So this brought a change of behavior where people were actually starting to find a different way to enjoy life, of different methods to go through life, other than just devoting themselves entirely to religion. They actually were devoting themselves to the world, to the human idea of being complete, and hence the Renaissance man um, topic, I guess, which we could start with someone like Leonardo da Vinci, who's probably the best example for something like this. Someone who is good at everything, or at least tries to be good at everything, or someone who tries to have as much knowledge of the world as they can, as mathematics, science, arts, from any point of view, the emotional connection with things, the humanist connection. All of these changes came to be right at the beginning of the Renaissance. It all started with a humanist writer who discovered writings from the classical Greek period, and that came to light a whole new path for everybody else to follow, where they figured that there was more to life than just blind-sided devotion to the church and to religion. Uh, I'm planning on using several sources for this, but the three ones that I have right now, it's two books that I own. One is an art history book. The uh, it's Art Through the Ages, the volume two, which basically starts at the beginning of the Renaissance, and then all the art periods that came from then on, and how they all influence each other. But mainly, all of them have the foundation of the Renaissance and the ideas of the Renaissance, that it's all about yourself and how you play in this world. Basically, the role that you play in this world. Another source is the How to Think Like Da Vinci book. It's a bit it's a self help book, you could say. It was given to me many years ago when I was studying art, and I think it's genius because it gives you an insight of a bit of all the requirements that you would need in order to be a Renaissance man, and this is basically what the people in this period they were trying to achieve. You know, is that balance on on your life where you wanted to be the best you could be at everything. I wanted to excel at everything and just to have that kind of motivation to feel better as a human being. I think that's just the biggest change overall that came from the Renaissance, is that it taught humans again to to how to find motivation to want to do things for themselves, and how to devote to themselves and to those around them, and the things that they love, and not so much. Um, Again, we go back to it, not so much religion or only one idea, and while doing so, muting everything else in your life. And the third source, it's an article that I found on the National Center for Biotechnology, and this is just research, obviously. It's basically about brain activity, how the brain functions, and I think that's essential because in order to understand anything that a human does, you first have to understand how the brain comes to be, and how information gets processed, and even we still don't understand any of it, or I mean, we have an understanding of it, but we have barely scratched the surface of the human mind. But at least we can look at what they have discovered so far and try to connect the dots as to patterns in human behavior, and then try to connect everything as to how this movement came to be, and how humans just completely decided to go about life in a whole different manner. And okay, so obviously I'm trying to use art, psychology, sociology, um, science, and I'm trying to to see how all of them connect, and how all of them help each other, just the same way that all the dimensions of wellness help each other, and how they complement each other to achieve one goal. You know, to achieve that balance that everybody is always looking for, and that's basically my my topic. That is what I'm going to do. I still have a lot of work to do. Obviously, there's a lot of details that I need to isolate, and I have to work on the structure a little bit more. But this is the main idea so far. Thanks.